Okay, so welcome back. So in this video we're going to do some examples, and these are all examples of quadratic equations, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so again, remember, anything that can be simplified in an expression that looks like a quadratic, that's in a quadratic form, is a quadratic equation. So in this case here, we can see the first one, x squared minus 4x minus 5, is in the general form. Okay, and to better see that, again, the general form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So again, it's always with the pluses here. So if you want to better see it, you could write this as plus -4 plus -5. And so the a here is 1, the b is -4, and the c is -5. And of course, you've got the x squared term. So this is a quadratic equation. Now here, in this one here, we got 3x squared minus 6. So this is also in quadratic form. It's just missing the x term because b is 0, right? So you could write this as what? You could write this as 3x squared plus 0x plus -6 equals 0, right? You could write it that way. And so you see that a is 3, b is 0, and c is -6, okay? So likewise, with this one here, you've got everything except the constant term. So in this case, c is 0, right? So this is still quadratic, okay? So again, you could write this as 2x squared plus 7x plus 0 equals 0, right? We wouldn't write the 0, but again, just to see it better. Okay? So again, it's quadratic. These are quadratic. It's got the x squared term. Remember, that's the only term we really need to have. All the other terms can be 0. We just need to have an x squared term so that it's quadratic. Okay? Now, what about this one here? This is also quadratic in form because it's got an x squared term, right? It's a quadratic equation in x because we've got an x squared term. And just that the a now is a little bit more complicated looking. So the a is equal to m minus 3. B is equal to -m, right? And c is equal to 7. Okay? Here, this one is also quadratic, and we could see it by simplifying it. So let's simplify this. So let's bring the x squared term over to the left. And so what does that give us? Well, we subtract x squared from both sides. That'll give us a 3x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. And so there we see that it is a quadratic equation. Okay? Similar to this one up here. And now finally, the last one here doesn't look like it's quadratic until you expand it out, right? So we've got an x to the first term, and you're like, well, wait a minute, how can that be quadratic? Okay, we need an x squared term. Well, let's simplify this. So if we FOIL this out, what do we get? We get, there's our x squared term, so we get x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 4, and then if I subtract the 4 from both sides, right, I get x squared plus 4x is equal to 0. And so there we see that it is a quadratic equation. Okay, and that's it. I'll see you next time.